Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. We begin with an update on what is still Tropical Depression 9, which has brought us plenty of rain so far today, and we're getting hit again. Here's meteorologist John Scalzi with the latest. John?
Yeah, that's going to be the thing with this storm, Scott. It's going to be the heavy torrential downpours of rain. We had one this morning that put cars underwater at the Tyrone Mall in St. Petersburg. And now we're getting some very heavy rain moving into areas of Manatee County along the coastline from, well, anywhere from Siesta Key all the way up to Anna Maria. I would not be driving out onto the coastal roads at this time because I think there'll probably be some flooding on some of those streets out there. This is drifting to the north, or not drifting, racing to the north at about 30 to 40 miles an hour. So there'll be some gusty winds involved with this as well. And it's moving into areas of Bradenton. This is one of several storms that we will be seeing over the course of the next several days that could drop 2-inch per hour or better rainfall rates, leading to definitely some street flooding. Yeah, it has still remained fairly unchanged, this system. It's a tropical depression still, number 9. It is not a tropical storm yet. Hurricane Hunter aircraft will go out here and investigate it. They've had some flare-ups of thunderstorms, but no organization, and the storm just has not moved. In fact, it's officially classified right now as stationary, and the track remains unchanged, taking it up toward the Big Bend region. We'll go into that track detail in just a few minutes. Watches and warnings across our area. We still do not have any kind of tropical storm warnings or watches or hurricane warnings or watches for our area, but we do have these flood advisories for our area through tomorrow, and most of our area rivers will approach or exceed flood stage as well because of the torrential downpours of rain expected. You think today's bad? Wait till tomorrow. 4 to 6 inch rainfalls possible. I'd even say over the course of the next 24 hours, maybe more than that. As far as the rest of the day goes, it's going to be sloppy. Expect to see 80% chances of rain. More than that right along the immediate coast, but on balance between coast and inland areas, I think we can go with 80%. Temperatures held down by cloud cover. So keep your raincoats handy, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. 42 counties in Florida now in a state of emergency in preparation for Tropical Depression 9. Governor Scott issuing the executive order this morning. Sarasota and Manatee counties are not included in that declaration. However, Hillsborough and Pinellas counties are both listed. The National Hurricane Center expects the depression to turn into a tropical storm sometime later today. That's why the governor says he wants Floridians to be fully prepared for whatever it brings. He says by declaring the state of emergency in advance, local, regional, and state agencies can work together to meet the needs of the community during severe weather. Now, in preparation for the incoming weather, both Sarasota and Manatee County emergency management officials are distributing sandbags again today to residents. County officials say placing these sandbags strategically around your home can only prevent minor flooding, but can also help divert the flow of water. Here are the 5 locations in Manatee County to pick up those sandbags if you need them, including Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton, and Palmetto. These locations will be open until 6 o'clock tonight. In Sarasota County, sandbags will also be available until 6 at Newtown Estates Park, Twin Lakes Park, and South County Fleet Facility in Venice. And the city of Venice has decided to close the South Jetty on Tarpon Center Drive due to the weather conditions. Barricades have been set up in front of Anita's Sandcastle there. Water has been washing up over the jetty this morning. City officials will consider reopening the jetty after high tide. The sand renourishment project off of Longboat Key has been stopped because of the stormy weather. The dredging ship has been moved to Tampa Bay Harbor for safekeeping until the severe weather passes. Equipment still on the beach will be guarded until the dredge returns. While town of Longboat Key officials expect the work to continue before the weekend, the weather is causing the completion date to be pushed back a little bit. The 4-week project was supposed to wrap up on September 15th. It will now depend on how soon work can continue once the storm passes. And a reminder to keep track of all the latest developments on the weather. You can get updates on the tropics and our Suncoast forecast 24 hours a day in many different ways. You can download our app. You can log on to our website, mysuncoast.com, and monitor our Facebook and Twitter pages. The results are in from yesterday's primary election. Election officials in Sarasota and Manatee County say voter turnout surpassed previous years, with about 25% of voters casting their ballots. Former presidential candidate Marco Rubio had a decisive victory over Suncoast developer Carlos Baruf. Rubio winning easily, even here on Baruf's home turf. Rubio will now face U.S. Representative Patrick Murphy in the general election in November. Murphy won by a large margin yesterday and was endorsed by President Obama. Meanwhile, Suncoast Congressman Vern Buchanan, who's been serving in the House for nearly a decade now, is a step closer to securing another term in office in District 16. Buchanan will again face longtime challenger, attorney Jan Schneider, who beat her Democratic opponent last night, Brent King. And in a hotly contested local race for state Senate, Greg Steube came out of the crowded GOP field to win District 23, the primary, and advance now to November. Steube beat out Doug Holder, Nora Patterson, Ray Pilon, and Rick Levine. Steube will now face Democrat and new College of Florida professor Frank Alcock in the general election. Alcock defeating 21-year-old Frank Cirillo. Time now to get over to the kitchen and check in for the first time with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher, who's just back from a quick trip out of town. Judy, great to have you back.
Well, it's good to be back in time to give everybody a cooking lesson before even more rain comes. This is one of those dishes that you can make ahead of time. We're making a Cobb salad, making a grilled salmon Cobb salad with a creamy avocado lime dressing. It's really easy, and the best part is, if we were to lose power, this is something that you have all the components ready to go. You open the fridge for a moment, you can just take it out of a plastic container. It's also going to be great for Labor Day weekend. Hopefully we'll see more sun as we get towards the weekend. And this is just a really fun way and a healthy way to work with some good food. So lots of avocados and fresh lime juice. And we're going to whip up a really simple dressing that I think you're going to want to use often. You don't make it too far ahead because you want to make sure the avocados stay fresh, and they do turn that brown color. The lime juice, the acid from the lime, is going to help keep it the brighter color. So stay with me. I'll be adding more avocados and cilantro and so many yummy things. We'll start to sear off the salmon in just a few minutes.
What does it mean when New South Window says Factory Direct?
It means we have a factory.
It means we eliminate the middleman.
It means you get an award-winning, energy-efficient window at factory direct pricing.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. Replacing your windows will not just beautify your home, but save you big bucks on your energy bills. I've done the research. I've seen the factory. New South Window is my hands-down choice.
New South Window. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. Call now.
Temperatures are rising, and the deals are hotter than ever during the summer clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Get the all-new Chrysler Pacifica for just $26,999 and get an additional $1,000 off with a trade-in. Hurry! Time is running out to get the new Dodge Journey for just $15,999. And right now, get up to $10,000 off a new Ram Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Are you one of the millions of Americans suffering from chronic knee pain? Have you been told knee replacement surgery is your only option? Then call now to see if you qualify for a breakthrough, all-natural treatment for knee pain relief. By using an FDA-approved product that replenishes the lubricant in your joints, a cushioning layer is created, allowing you to move smoothly and pain-free. This treatment is covered by most insurance, including Medicare. Call now and get your mobility back.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Hi, I'm Dylan Radigan. The world is brimming with possibilities. And that keeps me busy. My latest invention may be able to feed and sustain communities around the world. My team and I are always on the go, meeting new people and seeing new places. I produce films that I really care about. It's an honor to speak to audiences around the world. When people come together, meaningful work gets done. How do I do all this? Well, that part's easy. Hotelplanner.com.
Download ABC7's free all-new news app at your app store today. Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Well, this is what the coast looked like a little earlier today. It's torrential rain now. You could never shoot this video at the current time because you can't see and 5 feet in front of you with some of the rain showers that are around. But of note is the fact that I checked some of the rain gauges, or some of the rather tide gauges, and we're already running about a foot to a foot and a half in some cases above astronomical predicted tides. So we're already seeing some of those waves propagate outward from the center of what is not even yet a tropical storm, and it's helping to increase some of the wave heights. Taking a look at current conditions out there, 78 degrees the air temperature, southwest wind now brisk at 21. That is the beginning of those winds that are going to help push that water right up against the shore. And even though we don't have a great storm surge problem, not like they're going to have up around the Big Bend region where they could see some really significant flooding there, I think we do have the possibility of seeing a 1 to 3 foot storm surge, which could lead to some localized flooding along coastal regions tomorrow at high tide, which is about this time tomorrow as well, 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Also, we'll probably see rip current issues, and the wave action just horrible for boaters. Small craft advisories are in effect. You don't want to leave port. Thunderstorm activity, we'll have a lot of that around today. We already have some big storms now rumbling through parts of Manatee County. Now they've moved into Bradenton, as we mentioned they would a few minutes ago. Anywhere from Siesta Key all the way up to Anna Maria. Slow go on those roads. And I am sure we have some flooded streets out here on the Key. As we head into the afternoon, we'll see more and more of that kind of activity. We still have some big showers down to the south of us. Doesn't look like it on radar because the beam is just having to go too far out to capture this. But if you look at the satellite imagery, you can see the explosion of showers that we've had today. And the core of this has to lift off to the north and to the east because it's going to get caught up by trough low pressure. And on the east side of that core is where all the rain is. So it's headed right for the west coast and north central coast of Florida. And we've already had some significant rainfalls, around 4-inch plus rainfalls over the last 48 hours. So you add that to an anticipated another 4 to 6 inches of rain, and there are going to be places that top out, 10, even 12 inches of rain along the west coast of Florida for the total event that we're going to see here. That system developing into a tropical storm, Hermine, lifting north, curves back toward the Florida coastline. That philosophy remains unchanged in response to this trough of low pressure. It produces very heavy rainfall as well as I said, the potential of some significant storm surge up around the Big Bend region, maybe 5-6 feet of storm surge moving inland. We're looking for periods of heavy rain, stronger storms overnight. One of the things that happens with these landfalling systems is they twist the atmospheric winds as the winds at the surface kind of slow down as they move over ground, and the ground kind of puts the brakes on the winds at the surface. That doesn't happen often. Those winds scoot right along. So you get slow winds at the surface, fast winds aloft. You get a pinwheel action that creates the potential for some rotating storms, maybe even some isolated tornadoes. That could be the case tonight through tomorrow as well, so we'll be watching for that. TD number 9, stationary with 35-mile-an-hour winds, forecast to lift to the north and start its turn toward the North Florida coastline by tomorrow morning, and then by tomorrow evening probably making landfall. Scooting across the coast intact, it'll exit out into the Atlantic coast and possibly strengthen some over there as well as it moves up the mid-Atlantic coastline. Gusty winds, small craft advisories, obviously stay in port. It's really kind of late to do anything with your boat now if you have not already done so. Breezy rains today, tomorrow, windy at times with gusty conditions. 100% chance of rainfall tomorrow, some of it very heavy. Same thing Friday morning, we start to clear out by the weekend. Scott?
Of Gene Wilder this week shines the spotlight on Alzheimer's disease. ABC 7's Alex Redmond has more on the challenges this progressive illness presents for members of our community.
After Ronald Sheff took his wife of 67 years to the doctor.
She said, no, it's Monday. I want to dance. I want to dance. And we danced Monday, and she died Friday.
Advanced dementia did not stop Janet Sheff from dancing with her lifelong partner.
I would lead, and she would follow.
It is a progressive disease for which there is no cure. And Alzheimer's disease doesn't discriminate. It affects everybody differently.
She had forgotten who I was.
All 3 of Faith Blaze's sisters died of Alzheimer's disease, but her younger sister resonates most.
Heartbreaking in itself because she was such a vibrant woman.
Some people may be able to retain some semblance of their personality, while others...
My dear Uncle George had it. He got very bad. I mean, he got to the point where he really didn't know who particularly was who.
Betty LeCookson says her fiance has Alzheimer's.
The biggest concern is, am I going to go there someday and he's just not going to know who I am?
Now, Complications of Alzheimer's Disease claims the life of cinematic comedy legend Gene Wilder at 83. I first met Wilder in the 90s at a Gilda's Walk fundraiser in Manhattan. Wilder was laugh-out-loud funny and achingly heartbreaking all at once, emotions he invested in many of his characters. His family writes the disease never stole his ability to recognize those that were closest to him, nor took command of his central, gentle, life-affirming core personality.
For some people, they can function very well and maintain long-term memory and things like that, where for other people, memory can be very affected.
Danielle Valeria says those diagnosed may benefit from healthy diet and exercise.
But socialization is also one of those key factors that we know helps affect the outcome of staging off the progression of the illness once it begins.
Reporting at the Friendship Center in Sarasota, Alex Redmond, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
720,000 Americans suffer from a heart attack every year, but new medical procedures are helping more people survive a heart attack now than just a decade ago. In a study of 350,000 people, researchers looked at data from people who suffered a heart attack between 2003 and 2013, and they found the number of deaths due to a heart attack dropped from 11% to only 5% in that time. The increase in heart procedures allowed for a more immediate treatment and was associated with better outcomes for heart attack patients. The results also show the need for more patients to have access to life-saving heart procedures.
The more quickly you're able to open up the blocked vessel that's compromising the heart muscle, the better you're going to do. And now that we're able to open up that vessel more than 95% of the time, and as we become more and more experienced with this procedure, the better the outcomes are going to be.
Researchers say more follow-up studies are needed to find a more direct link between medical procedures and heart attack survival rates. This is International Drug Overdose Awareness Day. It's timely, with Manatee County having one of the worst overdose rates in the state. And tonight, the group, No Longer Silent, plans to hold a march. Hundreds are expected to gather at the Manatee County Courthouse at 6:30 this evening for a 2-mile walk. Participants will march from the courthouse down 14th Street West before looping back at 21st Avenue. A vigil will be held outside the courthouse following the march and honor those they've lost by writing on purple luminaries. Well, now that school is back in session, so are fall sports. But for parents filling out those registration papers, you could be signing up your kids for maybe too much or maybe not. A new report from the American Academy of Pediatrics claims kids who play more than one sport growing up have fewer injuries. They also have less stress. The report recommends children play more than one sport until they're 15 or 16 years old. Athletes in Division I colleges were more likely to play multiple sports in high school, often different from their current sport. The rain is keeping most sporting events off the field or confined to the gym. But coming up next, we're going to have the initial ABC7 Athlete of the Week for this new school year. That's next.
Hurricane season is here. We'll make sure you're prepared. Watch our hurricane special on our ABC7 app and all our live streaming platforms.
Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half-mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. And all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. Independence U for an independent you.
1-800-350-9872.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Batteries Plus bulbs keep stacks of batteries for cars, cell phones, watches, plus light bulbs for lamps, can lights, and appliances right on hand. Did I mention we also repair smartphones? Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus. Visit Batteries Plus bulbs today.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Well, the rain is no doubt causing a lot of frustration for high school sports this week, but even with the rain, football Friday night kicked off last week with several players worthy of our first ABC7 Athlete of the Week award for this new school year. Don Brennan is here with the story. Don?
Thanks, Scott. Those great performances were even more amazing because players had to dance between those raindrops, but one player, he really stood out. The plan coming into the 2016 season for the Venice Indians was to establish the run with Matt LaRoche being the focal point of that running game.
He had a great year last year. He didn't start at running back till like week 5, but I think he ended up with 1,200 yards. So we knew that he was special, and we're going to try to get him the ball as much as we can. The
Indians waited out a rain and lightning delay for almost 2 hours Friday night before hitting the field. 15 seconds later, lightning struck again in the form of LaRoche, who was in the end zone rather quickly.
We wanted to definitely establish the run. I didn't know it would happen that quickly, and I didn't know that he would have that such an efficient night. 15 seconds. It was a quick touchdown, and to make it more special, LaRoche had lots of people in the stands just to watch him.
That's one of my favorite plays in the game to ever run, and when I scored that long touchdown, I felt great. My parents there watching me, see me play, score that touchdown was good.
I was shocked and happy, and it was pretty neat. Even with all the rain there, we had a lot of fans there. I think he was excited about that, the student section and all that stuff, so it was pretty neat.
Yes, the Indians beat Georgia powerhouse Camden County 38-17, and LaRoche had 238 yards and a total of 4 touchdowns.
It felt great seeing everyone come together, and everyone's having a fun time playing football, working hard, scoring touchdowns. This team was a very good team. We just showed that we were better than the team.
Him starting the game like that gave us some great momentum. He's got a special gear that most kids don't have, so it's kind of tough to start the game off and have the right kind of angles to tackle him. He's so fast. Congratulations to Matt LaRoche of Venice High School. He is our ABC7 Athlete of the Week.
Right, phenomenal game, and there were so many others. I mean, it was surprising because the weather was so bad. You still had some great numbers, and it was great. But I do want everybody to know, athletic directors and coaches, you have to send me nominees because I know they're out there, but we can't recognize all of them. We need your help to spot them and find them out. So email me or contact us at mysuncoast.com. Let us know of all these great athletes so they can be recognized.
Exactly. They deserve it. Yeah.
Yes, and Scott Dennis started this, 26 years ago. This is the 26th year.
In the dark ages. Yeah.
No. But yes, we want to recognize the athletes as well. They should be recognized.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Donnie, thank you so much. Back to the kitchen now and check on that delicious lunch being prepared by Judy Gallagher.
Okay, let's get started with the salmon for the salad. So typical for me, I like to leave it in olive oil for about 20 minutes. I have both sides covered with a little olive oil. That's going to hold in the cholesterol seals it, hold in those juices. I have just a teeny bit of a Moroccan mix. I don't want to get it too strong a flavor because we have that avocado dressing coming, and I have salt and peppered the salmon as well. So now we're just gonna, again, dip a little more. I'm keeping the skin on because the skin actually seals in more juices. It will peel right off, so we're gonna be just fine. This is gonna cook up about 3 to 4 minutes per side, depending on the thickness. You can see the 2 pieces in the middle are a little bit thicker, so that's what we're going to be watching. The ones on the edge may come out just a little bit sooner, but that'll be a good start to get some good flavor going on in that pan. Now over in this pan, I just have a small packet of diced pancetta. Cobb salads, you can use turkey bacon, you can use regular bacon, but it's all right here, which makes it easy. Then I'm going to take just a teeny bit of that pancetta grease and pour that on the salmon, marrying that flavor. Really great. Let's get back over to those avocados. So I just split them in half. Make sure you're using ripe avocados. This dressing is just so good and creamy. I'm going to use some low-fat Greek yogurt. You don't want it completely fat-free because you want some depth to the body with this thickness. And then I'm going to do some fresh lime juice. I'm going to use about 1½ cloves of garlic. And I just quartered those or cut them in thirds. You just want to make sure that it all gets ground up, and that's really important. So we don't want somebody to get a big piece of garlic in there. Okay, so that's good. We're going to add a little olive oil, and then we're going to add cilantro. Now, the thing with cilantro is you use the stems too, because they have a lot of flavor in there, okay? So I've made this before. Normally, if you're making it for the first time, you can weigh it out, but that looks like about the right amount. Pinch of sugar. If you want to add again, for just a slight bite, you can add a little white balsamic vinegar. We're going to blend this up off air so I don't make too much noise, okay? I'm going to salt and pepper this as well. And then once I blend it, I'll taste it to see how it's going. When we come back, I'll compose the salad and we'll be ready for a really good lunch.
My dad is my hero, and I wanted to give him a chance to live life and be happy. Granny Nannies has been a huge help. It has contributed to the health and happiness of my dad, for sure.
A helping hand and a gentle heart.
A message from the Pulaski Law Firm. You started there right out of high school, learned your trade and did it well. And the asbestos you handled, well, that was just part of the job. If you worked in the trades and were diagnosed with mesothelioma, get the best care available, then call us. You may be entitled to financial compensation without ever going to court.
Call 800-236-4994
and see how we can help. Mesothelioma, don't fight it alone.
When you have credit card debt, the debt suckers, high rate and high pay, never leave you alone.
Debt is really sucking the life out of them. He's picking up the phone.
Oh, no, not Consolidated Credit.
With one call, they can lower their credit card rates.
And consolidate their bills into one low payment.
They'll pay off their debt in no time.
Call Consolidated Credit now.
Because debt sucks.
Call 800-201-0230. That's 800-201-0230. Call now.
US Med has great news for anyone living with diabetes.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, US Med will ship a new glucose meter right to your home.
And shipping is free.
My new meter uses only a speck of blood, so it's less painful than my previous meter.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, you're covered with US Med. We're welcoming new patients, even if your current provider can't supply you anymore.
I don't even have to test on my fingers anymore. I can test on my hand or forearms, and it's more accurate than my old meter.
So call US Med today, and you'll have a choice of 2 great meters.
One that actually speaks your results, or a meter so small it fits in the bottle of strips.
Act now, and US Med will include a free prescription discount card. We'll also send you a free diabetes cookbook. This is your opportunity.
So call US Med today.
You'll be glad you did.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, we make sure you get the most for your money. More years, more miles, and when you're ready to sell, you'll get more money back. Come fall in love with the longest-lasting vehicle in its class, the Subaru Outback. Or lease a new 2017 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month. Or get 0% financing right now during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Granny Nannies. We've been making house calls for over 25 years. When you need home health care services, there really is no place like home.
Grandma! A helping hand and a gentle heart.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
We are looking at some very heavy rainfall across the region currently. Big showers and thunderstorms lifting northward have produced some flooding rains in parts of Pinellas County. And that'll be the case throughout the probably next hour or so. Flooded streets leading to actually disabled cars in parts of Tyrone and also in Indian Rocks. We're seeing some flooding there. Largo seeing some flooding. If you're thinking about crossing the Skyway Bridge, I would wait about 45 minutes or so until this cell actually leaves the area. Big thunderstorm activity now across parts of our area as well. We're seeing the heaviest of the rain that moving into Lakewood Ranch, lifting north through Oneiko and into Parrish eventually. These showers and thunderstorms racing at about 20 to 30 miles per hour. After this is gone, this particular cell may get a little bit of a break again, then things will pick up one more time. Again, 9, it's still a tropical depression. You know what? I'm sure that by the end of the day, we'll have a tropical storm. And at that time, we'll watch it as it starts to hook back toward the Big Bend region of the state of Florida. Big Bend region is in for a problem if this develops into a strong tropical storm that could get a storm surge up there of 5-6 feet. It could do some significant flooding. We're looking at a stationary storm right now, but it is expected to move north later today. So I think the major threat for us here on the Suncoast is going to be the fact that as these storms make landfall tonight and tomorrow, the thunderstorm cells could see some isolated tornadoes drop down from some of them. Going to get 4 to 6 inches of rain, heavy rain through the nighttime hours. And we could get some coastal flooding due to a combination of the heavy rain trying to escape, high tide, which is going to run higher than normal by about probably 1 to 3 feet, even depending on the strength of the storm. We'll talk more about it in just a few minutes, Scott.
All right, thank you so much, John. We're continuing to follow the preparations underway as the tropical depression approaches the Gulf Coast. With 42 counties now in a state of emergency, Florida Power and Light is taking precautions in case the severe weather causes power outages. The company has activated its emergency response plan. That means crews are on standby, ready to restore power to customers who lose power due to high winds. Throughout the year, crews clear tree limbs and branches from power lines and inspect their power poles. There are warnings for drivers navigating our wet roads over the next few days. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, those who drive in the rain have a 70% higher chance of getting into a crash. AAA recommends drivers check their tires before getting on the road, make sure they're properly inflated. Avoid flooded streets, reduce your speed, and give more room to those driving around you. A hurricane warning is already in effect for parts of Hawaii as 2 hurricanes approach the Big Island. Crews are doing everything they can to prepare. Tropical storm Darby already drenched Oahu and flooded the freeway there. In anticipation of Hurricanes Madeline and Lester's impact, city crews are concentrating on trouble spots to keep streets from overflowing. Statewide, the Transportation Department did erosion control and moved heavy equipment into key areas to help improve response times in case of severe flooding or landslides.
Hana Highway is obviously a very big highway that is prone to some issues. So we're staging vehicles and equipment there. In the event there's landslide or landslides, our crews will be able to respond right away and try to get that open quickly.
The last hurricane to make landfall in Hawaii was Hurricane Iniki way back in 1992. Another national news on the campaign trail. Donald Trump making a surprise visit to Mexico today to meet with that country's president. At the same time, Trump continues to battle with Mexico's former president on social media. ABC's Lana Zak has the latest.
Just hours before his landmark speech on immigration in Arizona, Trump meets with Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto.
My running mate will be very clear with President Peña Nieto about our priority of securing the border, building a wall.
Trump's VP pick, Mike Pence, and former Mexican President Vicente Fox, both on CNN, taking different tones.
It's a very opportunistic move, and I hope U.S. public opinion, U.S. citizens can see this and finally see what is behind Trump, this false prophet that is just cheating everybody.
Trump criticized Fox on Twitter, writing former President Vicente Fox, who's railing against my visit to Mexico today, also invited me when he apologized for using the F-bomb. Fox fired back, tweeting, "I invited you to come and apologize to all Mexicans. Stop lying. Mexico is not yours to play with. Show some respect." Clinton's campaign says they plan to visit Mexico, quote, "at the appropriate time." Meanwhile, a new ABC News Washington Post poll out today finds that Clinton's support has been eroding as her unfavorability numbers are rising, now at 59%, practically tied with Trump. Approximately 30 new Clinton emails are expected to be released by the FBI and the State Department soon.
The meeting between Mexico's leader and Donald Trump will be private, but we are told by Trump's campaign manager that he will take questions from both Mexican and American press. The two men do have one thing in common: really high unfavorability ratings, and both hoping to capitalize on this dynamic moment. Lana Zak, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, the two vice presidential candidates are focusing on Florida this week. Republican VP candidate Mike Pence will hold a town hall at the Hyatt Regency in Sarasota this afternoon. There has been a change in the timing, though, of the event. Doors at the Hyatt opened late this morning, and it's now scheduled to start at around 2 o'clock. Meanwhile, Democratic VP candidate Tim Kaine will be campaigning for Hillary Clinton in Florida. He will make stops in Pensacola, Panama City, and Jacksonville tomorrow and Friday, weather permitting. The Virginia senator campaigned last week in Tallahassee and in South Florida. Another Manatee County intersection now has red light cameras. A 30-day warning period begins today for drivers at the intersection of 53rd Avenue and US 41. After that period ends next month, the cameras, will begin taking photos of red light runners in the southbound lanes of 53rd Avenue. This is the county's 10th red light camera intersection, and no more are planned with its current camera vendor. The first commercial flight between the United States and Cuba in more than a half a century has now landed. The JetBlue flight left Fort Lauderdale this morning and landed a short time later in the central Cuban city of Santa Clara. This flight reestablishing regular air service that was severed at the height of the Cold War. About 300 flights a week are planned, connecting the U.S. with an island cut off from most Americans by the 55-year-old trade embargo on Cuba and formal ban on U.S. citizens engaging in tourism on the island. If you're planning to fly out of Tampa International Airport next month, there are some changes coming. Beginning September 6th, the blue area of the airport for arrivals and departures will be closed at night. This is for construction. Those closures will take place from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. so construction crews can work on the Sky Connect Guideway. All pickups and drop-offs will be directed to short-term parking, and parking fees will be waived, by the way, for drop-offs and pickups during those hours. Construction is expected to be complete later this fall. And we'll be right back with more. Stay with us.
The all-new mysuncoast.com. Just another way we're here for you.
Attention. This is an important message for anyone who had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to their heart or lungs. Did your IVC filter move, break, or cause organ damage? The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, even death. If you or a loved one suffered serious complications, call IVC Filter Helpline now. You may be entitled to compensation. IVC filters are designed to prevent blood clots. If your IVC filter moved or broke and you suffered heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, or if a loved one died as a result, call IVC Filter Helpline today. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You'll pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone. Call IVC Filter Helpline now.
Please call 800-897-6764. That is 800-897-6764.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today.
Current conditions out there, 77 degrees. How about that? That's some rain-cooled air right there. Dropped 10 degrees in the course of only about an hour. 73 degrees, our dew point, east wind coming in at about 6. We have thunderstorms in progress across the area. That's what we're going to have for a while. We're looking at big thunderstorms right now, moving into areas of northern Manatee County, Palmetto, Onico, seeing some big thunderstorms. Parrish getting some thunderstorm activity. Now a storm moving into areas of Siesta Key, St. Armand's Key, moving up toward Longboat Key. After that particular cell moves onshore and then eventually moves into central Sarasota, I think we get a little bit of a break before more shower and thunderstorm activity will redevelop and we'll get more waves moving through. And as we head into tonight and tomorrow, we'll start to see these winds begin to twist in the atmosphere as the center of this system lifts northward in such a way that it will encourage the formation of rotating thunderstorms. And that always spells the possibility of an occasional tornado or isolated tornado. So we'll be watching for that, especially tonight through tomorrow. Still a tropical depression, TD number 9, 35-mile-an-hour winds. It really has not moved a whole lot today. It's had a few thunderstorms explode across its field, its sphere of influence, if you will. But it really hasn't organized those thunderstorms around the center of circulation so that we aren't getting really any intensification yet. But it is forecast to lift northward, getting away from those shearing winds, which is keeping it from doing that. And then we should see some intensification into a tropical storm status. By tomorrow morning, it begins its twist back toward the Panhandle or the Big Bend region. And as it does so, that's when we'll probably start to see some of our strongest storms move onshore and our breeziest winds. The real issue for storm surge, though, lies, I think, with the Big Bend region, where this concave coastline is going to really capture the water as the storm moves onshore. And you get this northwest quadrant where you have to have the forward motion of the storm, which will be pretty fast, along with the wind speeds of the storm, and you're going to get significant flooding, I think, around the Big Bend region as the storm moves onshore. It moves across the peninsula fairly intact and re-exits out into the Atlantic, where it may even build stronger. Winds are not going to be a terrible problem with us in terms of any kind of damage to structures, I don't think. We have a low probability in our area of seeing tropical storm force winds. However, that said, we could see some pretty strong winds contained within thunderstorms. So as you look at the track of the storm, don't be too terribly concerned about that center line. Just remember that the effects can be felt well outside the cone. Also, waves will propagate outward from the center of this storm, and we get these wave heights, which are significant, 6-7 foot wave heights. So we will get maybe a 1 to 3 foot storm surge around the area, which won't cause a lot of a problem along most of our area roadways along the Keys, but we could see some slosh over, and we could see some neighborhoods with some flooded streets, no doubt about that, along the Key particularly, especially if we get that high tide about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, combined with these heavy torrential thunderstorms, then you got an issue. You can see some of these wave heights and wind speeds out at some of the buoy data in Gulf waters already significant. So we'll watch that occur this afternoon and evening, creating this small craft advisory that'll be good through tomorrow. Boaters, stay in port, please. South wind coming in at about 30 knots, gusting to 35 overnight. Rough conditions out there in bay and inland waters. No surfing either, please. We often see that with these tropical systems, people getting out there trying to surf the waves. Look for a 100% chance of heavy rains tomorrow. Things will start to lighten up on Friday. Scott?
John, thank you. Today's amazing Suncoast woman was hit by pain so great she didn't think she could survive it. But as ABC 7's Linda Carson shows us, she found a way through it.
Christine Olson moved to Bradenton in 1999 with her son and her daughter Tiffany.
She was a little fish. She was a little mermaid. She loved the ocean. But she had this little passion about her, about helping people.
Tiffany was 22 when it happened on December 7, 2005. She was riding behind her boyfriend on a motorcycle on US 19 in Palmetto.
A car ran the intersection and came out in front of the bike, and there was just nothing that could have been done. It was on top of Dustin. Tiffany was thrown from the bike, and Luckily, she broke her neck and she was killed on impact.
But it was hours before Christine found out.
She was 15 minutes away from home, and it took law enforcement 6.5 hours to contact me.
The only thing Tiffany had with her was her driver's license.
And I just thought, what if there was something in that license that would have let them know who to call?
So Christine started a petition drive to put contact information on driver's license. Then she presented it to Senator Bill Galvano.
He took it to the state of Florida Department of Motor Vehicles in Tallahassee, and the state of Florida responded with, why haven't we done this? We're doing this immediately.
6 months later, TIF's initiative was born, and on October 2nd, 2006, Christine became the first person in the world to register her contact information on her driver's license. Now over 11 million Floridians have registered, and it has spread to 5 other states. It's free and easy to register on your phone or other device.
If you find yourself in an accident, medical emergency, anything, and you've registered, law enforcement shows up, takes your license, scans it like a credit card right in their vehicle, and your contacts anywhere in the country come up immediately for them.
Christine says working on TIF's initiative has taught her a great life lesson.
My life-saving work, because this has saved my life from the loss of a child. She was everything to me. This has saved my life by giving back to others, to helping others.
And after you register, do what Christine's bracelet says. Pay it forward. Make sure everybody you know registers too. Christine, you are truly an amazing woman.
Thank you very much.
Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Linda, thank you. Sarasota County is looking for the public's help in finding solutions to the pollution in Philippi Creek. The Environmental Protection Agency says the creek is in need of a reduction in bacteria. County is asking the public to identify bacteria and nutrient sources in the creek using a map. The county will then investigate that area. The meeting will be held tonight from 5:30 to 8 o'clock at the Florida House Institute on Beneva Road. The meeting is free and open to the public, but space is limited to the first 50 people who register. More land along the Myakka River will soon be set aside for conservation. The Southwest Florida Water Management District approving a $2 million grant to buy the Carlton Triangle Ranch in Myakka. Once the deal is closed, the nearly 1,100-acre property will be conserved. The ranch covers about 3 miles of the Myakka riverfront. Time to get back to the kitchen now and check in with Judy Gallagher and see how lunch is coming along. A delicious salmon dish today.
It is. It's a salmon Cobb salad, and I have a beautiful avocado cilantro dressing that's going to go with it. So the thing I don't like about Cobb salads is after you eat all the goodness from the top, all that seems to be left over are the greens, and you're going to eat all the really higher calorie items and not getting all those great greens. So I've done it in layers. So I have a mini Cobb underneath, sans the salmon. Now I'm going to do another layer of baby organic spinach and some arugula. I like to have the difference, the peppery bite of it, but I think that spinach goes so well with salmon. So now you can use green beans, you can use snow peas. I'm going to use the snow peas. You could use poached asparagus. And I'm just going to make layers, and I have those beautiful grape tomatoes that I love, boasting with flavors. So let's do some of that right over there. Scallions are great if you want to do a row of that. Here's that pancetta, that bacon, Italian-style bacon. And now, let me just fix that. Now we're going to go in for our chopped egg. Now, if you want to go really decadent, you can make these into deviled eggs and then just cut them up and use pieces of deviled eggs. But I'm going to basically put those eggs around like that. So we have some nice bright colors that we're working with, right? Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take that salmon and we'll lay it over that way. And then we're going to get to our delicious dressing. And this is the avocado, the lime, cilantro. And I'm going to put a little dab over that salmon, and then I'm going to just put it, it's pretty thick, which is the consistency that you want because you can just get dabs of it. So we're going to put it around like that and do different dabs and a little more pancetta that's going to go right with that spinach. And look at that. Now to go with this, since Labor Day weekend is coming, I found it's called Old Florida sweet potato tortilla chips. So I'm going to serve those, and I have some watermelon. I am ready for Labor Day weekend. Stay with me. We'll be ready for a taste in just a few minutes.
Shop GoWildHonda.com. Lease a new Civic for $174 and no down payment, just $174. Get great clearance deals now at GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
The all-new mysuncoast.com. Just another way we're here for you.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com. AND services.com.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Shop GoWildHonda.com. Lease a new Accord for $189 and no down payment, just $189 or 0.9% APR. Get great clearance deals now at GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
Cobb salads, great idea for a rainy day, Judy.
Hey, there you go, and you have it all weekend long. You know, John, I also have recommendations. You can use soba noodles in that, which is going to make it even heartier, a nice, healthy buckwheat noodle. But it's a complete meal, and lots of great of the positive fats like avocados and salmon and things like that. And just, you can put that all in a plastic container and go out and celebrate Labor Day with your friends.
And like you say, too, if you cook it up in advance, might be good in case there is a power outage
Just
tomorrow,
saying,
right?
we'll be a little bit safe.
Yeah, big thunderstorms rumbling through the area right now. The recipe for this on our website, mysuncoast.com. Go on there, check it out, and get all the details for this beautiful Cobb salad. Judy, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Scott?
All right, guys, thank you. Singer Gladys Knight is suing to remove her name from her son's restaurants. The federal lawsuit claims that Gladys Knight's chicken and waffles restaurants are failing and damaging the singer's reputation. Knight wrote her son, Shanga Hankerson, in July, terminating their verbal agreement to use her name and likeness, but nothing has changed so far. In an email, Knight's son said he has no desire to fight his mother for use of her name. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band couldn't leave New Jersey without breaking another record. Tuesday night's concert at MetLife Stadium ended 4 hours after it started, breaking the previous record for the group's longest U.S. show of 3 hours 59 minutes set at MetLife last Thursday. Now, Springsteen told the audience his 3 recent shows at the Meadowlands in New Jersey were most enjoyable. The River Tour 2016, which kicked off in January, ends in Foxborough, Massachusetts on September 14th. And just back from one of those record-breaking shows.
2 of the record-breaking shows and 1 in Chicago.
How many have you
Chef
seen?
Judy. Just last week, 3.
But I mean, in your lifetime so far.
I'm getting near 50. But I'm retiring now. I don't know how Bruce does it at 67. I'm exhausted. But the 4-hour concerts were great, and he has such passion and joy. I mean, you know, 30,000 people singing and dancing and being kind to each other. That's what it's about.
And the energy he brings to that stage is remarkable,
Unbelievable.
isn't it?
It's unbelievable. And in Chicago, we were really close. I just missed shaking his hand. But, I mean, he just, like, nonstop. To see him, you know, to get it. I know.
Cool.
It's pretty.
Showers and thunderstorms, some heavy. Stay with us. We're on Facebook and Twitter. And don't forget to download our app.
We'll see you again at 5 o'clock. Have a good day.
At ABC7, it's all about being here for you. ABC7 News at 7 with award-winning investigative journalist Alan Cohn. In-depth reporting and debate on important issues and stories in our community with a featured topic of the day and a live roundtable discussion with community leaders and newsmakers. Plus a quick recap of the day's top stories and weather. ABC7 News at 7, weeknights. Now more than ever, we're here for you, Suncoast.
This is important news for women diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Talcum powder may have caused your ovarian cancer. According to many studies, long-term use of talcum powder in products such as baby powder or shower-to-shower for feminine hygiene is linked directly to ovarian cancer. If you are an ovarian cancer victim or if a loved one died from ovarian cancer after using talcum powder, call the law offices of Davis & Crump at the number below right now to find out if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call now.